And in our Ghana Month series, we'll tell you about the pond that is considered as sacred for all Wala royals, where the overlords of the Wala traditional area cannot set foot. It's called the Samana Pond. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for choosing us. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Aisha. Please stay for details. Residents of Weija and motorists who use the Accra-Cape Coast Highway are angry about the seeming lack of action by city authorities to immediately stop the perennial flooding of sections of that road. Anytime it rains, parts of the major highway that links Cape Coast, Takoradi, and neighboring Côte d'Ivoire become impassable as it is covered with rainwater and sand washed down from the hills in the area. Residents and motorists spend many hours in traffic before getting to their destination.
Heavy rains on the 23rd May last year rendered about a kilometer of the Kaswa-Accra Road completely unmotorable. Two articulated trucks were stuck in the silt dumped on the road. A driver of one of the trucks, Issa Halidu, said he was forced to spend the night in his car.
We tried to move, we couldn't move. That is why got all the tanks and the tires. Yeah. Everything is sinking. Yeah. So we don't know how to do unless they help us. Okay. They come to our aid. Otherwise, we don't know what to do. Okay. I even get some shovel. You see what we are doing. Yeah. We tried, but
it's just some minutes after slight rainfall here in the Weija Road. What you can see is rainwater gushing down from upstream from the hills here at Weija. It washes down silt onto the main road, reducing a 3-lane stretch to 1, sometimes 2. Many motorists are complaining about the situation. They want authorities to fix the perennial problem.
It rained for only 15 minutes on Wednesday, but some parts of the road is already flooded with a massive gridlock. I've met a resident, Kingsford Kufusu. He's very angry about the situation.
Very bad. Very bad. And we are facing a lot of problems. Traffic. The traffic may see from is a crowd. You guys for say sound give you make them know say we do suffer for this road top. We do suffer. Some block factory 2 days here. Anytime it go rain, then to them go drop them water. Now if I bro, we do suffer. We do suffer for a year. It be bad. Every rainfall, even small drop, this road go full. I don't know. This road be government road, make I ask you. Yes, it be government road, where government know say this road there here. Yeah. Government people they pass here, then they use the road. Yeah. You know good.
Visibly angry motorists who couldn't step out of their cars to speak to us had something to say to city authorities. Anytime it rains, it gets flooded here. Please get them to fix it for us. A man seated in a commercial vehicle blurted out as the car moved through the flood water on the road. Emmanuel Fori is a taxi driver. He says anytime it rains, drivers are compelled to spend productive hours in traffic on the Weija-Akala stretch. He wants city authorities to fix the challenge.
It causes traffic. Yeah. Whenever it rains excessively, all the highland and the lowland at the top, it pushes the soil, so it causes soil erosion. So it makes our work so difficult. I want them to drill a hole, like a gutter, so that the water can flow. To me, it delay my work. whenever there's excessive traffic, the fuel is always consumed. Yeah, so it makes our work difficult. Yeah.
It's not only motorists who are affected by the flooded road. Some businesses here have lost thousands of Ghana cedis as a result of the situation. Nanama Boy is the manager at the Weija branch of Atala Limited.
It has destroyed some of our tile cement, our main cement, our slate, and a lot of our books sometimes when we're at the downstairs. So it has really destroyed our things. So I want the authorities should come and ask about how the situation will be solved, because I see that this issue is not about a one-person issue. It's a very tough, and I learned it's coming from the top. It rains today that it rains here. Yeah. It's just a little rain. It's like drizzling, not really rains, but it was, all this place was flooded.
A resident, Martin Luther King Agbeve, says a permanent solution is needed since the problem has become perennial.
Big gutter here, this is the big gutter connected to the West Mall here. Then descend to the main entrance, to the traffic light. And then when it rains like this, the flood is very huge. We talked to the authorities. They said they will do something about it. We are waiting for them so many years. NDC come, nothing. MPP come, nothing. So people are dying. It costs traffic a lot. A lot. People are able to go to work, and the time also to, yeah, it's going. So the road too is spoiling the road, the erosion. So they have to do something.
Until city authorities fix the perennial flooding on the Atala section of the road at Weija, more productive hours will be lost to the congestion that is created anytime it rains. The road is already showing signs of deterioration as a result of the flooding. Maxwell Agbagba for JoyNews.
The opposition NDC has officially closed nominations for both presidential and parliamentary contests. According to the party, the exercise has been peaceful without any incidents. My colleague Samuel Mbura joins us live from the NDC headquarters in Accra. Mbura, how many aspirants have filed so far, both for presidential and the parliamentary contest?
So, Asha, we have 4 persons picking nominations and filing for the presidential bit of it. The first was Ernest Kobia from the Ashanti region. Second was the former President John Dramani Mahama picking his nomination. The third was yesterday. That was Mr. Kojo Bonsu, former mayor for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. And today, Dr. Dufour is the last person to pick his forms for the presidential race. And the parliamentary aspect of it was also closed yesterday, where I'm told by the party that over 820 persons picked nominations. They are yet collating to get the exact number that have returned their nomination forms and filed accordingly. So that detail would be updated as and when the entire information comes to the party.
So we know that Dr. Kwabena Dufour is the last to file his nominations today. What has he been telling party supporters?
Dr. Dufour has been propagating the message of unity. He has been propagating the message of Ahonto, where he says that the concentration, or his concentration as a leader, will be the empowerment of the youth. He thinks that the youth have not been empowered enough in the party, and if he's given the opportunity, he would ensure that the youth across the country would get their fair share of
All right, so that's my colleague Samuel Mbura reporting from the NDC headquarters, where nominations for both presidential and parliamentary aspirants have closed. Remember, that contest comes off in May, and definitely we have our lenses widely opened. We will be updating you on all these activities. Away from the NDC, the Central Region has been adjudged the safest place to give birth in Ghana. That's according to the Ghana Health Service. Central Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Aisha Ibrahim, disclosed this during this year's regional review. Dr. Sapon says the Regional Health Directorate is happy that the interventions they put in place are yielding results.
According to the Central Regional Director of Health Services, the region has over the last 2 years made tremendous progress in the attainment of some key health sector performance indicators and targets, particularly in maternal and neonatal healthcare delivery. At the 2022 annual review meeting held in Cape Coast, the Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Aisha Ibrahim, indicated that the region has improved healthcare delivery and has been adjudged the safest in maternal delivery in the neonatal care assessment across the country.
We have made progress in some of our service indicators and also built a strong and robust public health and surveillance system over the years to detect and handle epidemics and other outbreaks. Professor Che, we have made tremendous progress in some of our service indicators. An example is in maternal and perinatal health services. A lot of time, effort, and resources have gone into our maternal health initiatives, which is now beginning to yield results. We have made significant gains in the last neonatal care assessment nationally. Central Region was adjudged as the safest region to deliver in Ghana. For example, the maternal mortality ratio declined from 104 per 100,000 live births in 2021 to 90.9 per 100,000 live births in 2022. The neonatal deaths also improved from 6.9 per 1,000 live births in 2021 to 4.8 per 1,000 live births in 2022. There were similar gains in the stillbirth rates, which decreased from 12.7 to 11.2 per 1,000 live births between 2021 and 2020.
In sustaining and consolidating the gains by the region, Dr. Ibrahim explains there was the need for stakeholders to get involved in the monitoring, training, capacity building of clinical teams as supports in efforts of the directorate in that regard.
I'm very convinced that we'll make further progress with our maternal health indicators. We have also improved in our TB case detection from 49.6% in 2021 to 65.8%. Our HIV indicators have also improved as we have improved linkage to HIV care from 55.2% in 2021 to 71.4% in 2022.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigodasan applauded the management and staff of the Ghana Health Service in the region for their continuing efforts to providing quality health care across the region amidst various challenges. She pledged government support in assisting healthcare delivery to ensure safety of the citizenry.
I would therefore like to take this opportunity to commend the Central Regional Director of Ghana Health Service. Madam, we are so grateful to you. We are truly grateful. She's done so many things for us. She's done so well. Her services, her humility and everything. And then we also thank the management and the entire staff for putting your heads together to provide quality healthcare in our communities and also emerging the highly performing region during the National Holistic Assessment for Health Sectors during the year under review. Professor Chair, despite the achievement and intensified efforts in many areas as a country and the region in particular, you also agree with me that we continue to be faced with several challenges and emerging ones regarding our health status indicators.
The meeting was on a theme sustaining the gains in health service performance through improved governance and quality of care towards achieving universal health coverage, the role of stakeholders. Abdallah Osman's reports for JoyNews.
The minority in Parliament is demanding an investigation into how government, through the GMPC, agreed to acquire 70% stake in the South Deepwater Tunnel and another 37% stake in the Deepwater Tunnel Cape 3 Point. This deal was expected to cost the state $1.65 billion, but recently AGM has opted to relinquish its stake in the South Deepwater Tunnel block. Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Kofi Boah says there are still questions which must be answered and only an investigation can unravel that.
A lot of groups have called for investigation, and we support that call. The reason is because a company that has come to Ghana that buy this asset and has convinced officials of the state with the audacity to bring that agreement to Parliament. Can you imagine that if we had basically indeed bought and exchanged money? If we did, then it means that today we will be talking about almost 1 billion plus that we had sold an asset that has no value. That's why we believe that that whole circumstances leading to AKE's proposal to sell that block must be investigated.
Emmanuel Kofi Boah says his side feels vindicated as they were opposed to the deal since its inception.
We warned the government, led by Nanado, that this asset, especially the AGM part of the asset, was valueless and risky. And we insisted that the valuation, you need to value an asset to make sure you know how much it is valued. And we insisted that that so-called valuation they've done cannot let the state buy that asset at that price. We warned them, we insisted, we spoke about the risk of the South Deepwater Tunnel block, and said that first of all, the block was 3,000 meters deep. The technology to develop that block does not even exist. So why will AKE, who wants to make money, sell that used a block to Ghana without proper valuation? The government insisted that they were going to buy it. We insisted that it was not of value. Thankfully, they said they came to see policy of that they were going to go and come back. Well, guess what? Less than a year and a half later, AKE has now said that that block has been relinquished. That is, they have basically given up on it to Ghana back. Can you imagine if we bought it? And we insisted that we can't buy it at that price. Now, we saw some newspaper articles saying that the NDC minority has been silent about the fact that now it turns out that a year later or 2 years later, AKE now goes back to say that that block that they wanted to basically dupe Ghana by selling to us for 1 billion, 1.65 billion, I mean half of that part of the block, they no longer want it and that they have relinquished it. That really vindicates the NDC minority.
Speaking on the deal on the AM show, Deputy Energy Minister Andrew Japamesa says the deal, the Ministry of Energy and GNPC's negotiations with AKE Energy has not concluded, adding there hasn't been any approval from Parliament for the deal or transaction to be consummated.
The approval that Parliament gave was for the Ministry of Energy and GNPC to go and negotiate with AKE Energy for a potential acquisition by GNPC in both the AKE and the AGM block. As far as I know, that negotiation has not been concluded.
Right.
And so to that extent, no definitive documents have been submitted to Parliament for consideration and approval to consummate the transaction. Obviously, within the confines of the law, which then says that when you execute a petroleum agreement, you have a certain time frame within which you need to do exploration. I believe it's 7 years. Within that period, there are obligations that you need to meet. And so the fact that you are having a negotiation for one party to potentially acquire a stake in those blocks does not under any circumstances derogate from you performing your obligations. And so if at the end of the exploration period, the transaction or the proposed transaction of GNPC's acquisition in the ACA and AGM block has not been consummated, but the point has reached where, because ACA and AGM themselves have not met their obligations under the petroleum agreement, they have to and have indeed indicated they are relinquishing that block. That then becomes an issue that people want to play political chaskili with.
You can go live to Parliament and speak with Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Weija Road, who has more. Kweku, how does the minority intend to push for these investigations they are demanding?
So, according to Emmanuel Amakupibua, government should be interested in knowing exactly how and why government committed to dish out close to $1.65 billion of state resources to invest in these oil resources, and that ultimately it will not have been mirrored in the state's best interest. They fell short of specifically stating if they want, say, the OSP or the police or some state institution to conduct some investigations as to whether or not it's a corruption-related investigation or not. They have not said so, but ultimately they are throwing that argument to government to say that investigate this, because ultimately if this would have gone through, the state would have lost some significant amount of money.
We understand also that the House may be approving the nominations of recent appointees of the president. Is that happening?
So the main agenda on Parliament business today is the 3 financial revenues, the excise amendment bill. There's also the growth and sustainability levy, as well as the income tax amendment number 2 bill. These are the main things that Parliament is set to consider. Ultimately, government expects to get about 4 billion Ghana cedis annually if this goes through. That is the expectation. The minority are opposed because they think that it will overburden the Ghanaian taxpayer. But it will come as a side. The ministerial nominees, we've already seen Katie Hammond go on the floor, try and negotiate, try and lobby some of his colleagues on the minority side. And so that may come, but that is not clear yet. But the ultimate thing that will come to Parliament today is the 3 financial revenue bills, which government expects to rake in about 4 billion cedis. It is part of the conditionalities of that IMF bailout. And ultimately, this will be a numbers game if the minority do not play ball. The NPP have 138 MPs. Ordinarily, this should be an easy game for them, since it's by simple majority. But Sarah Adjoa-Sappo, we don't know if she'll be Parliament today, and another NPP MP who has not been around for some time now. That will leave each side with 136 MPs apiece. And when it goes down to a vote and there's a tie, that motion would have lost. And so the minority side are being called on by the majority side to put political consideration aside, join government to pass these revenue bills as well as pass the ministerial nominees when they do come to the floor.
Certainly, something we'll be monitoring. Weija Road is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. He will be bringing us more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's stick to energy issues because the U.S. Department of Energy has announced the launch of a clean energy training center to support infrastructural development in Africa. The Clean Energy Training Center is offering a nuclear curriculum virtually to the entire African continent, with Ghana being the first country to benefit from the program. Deputy Assistant Secretary for International Nuclear Energy Policy and Cooperation in the Office of Nuclear Energy at the U.S. Department of Energy, Aisha Ibrahim, made the announcement during an interview with Raymond Akwa on the JoyNews channel.
Clean Energy Training Center fortunately has virtual and physical components, and so we've already started. We are offering a nuclear curriculum virtually to the entire continent, free of charge. Those classes are taught every other Thursday under the auspices of the training center. We will then find a suitable location in partnership with our colleagues at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and then look to have some in-person events to include workshops, mentoring workshops, and in-person courses.
She explained Clean Energy Training Center is a significant step forward in promoting clean energy and sustainable development in Africa.
I think it's also important that we communicate the benefits of nuclear, how they impact people's everyday life. just being able to turn a light switch on and that light source be constant all day. To be able to receive medical diagnosis and prognosis and treatment from nuclear applications, to be able to clean water, to be able to irradiate germs from food. There's even been work being done with the mosquitoes to be able to support those issues and disease-carrying ramifications. So I think that when we start to communicate nuclear about in a way that shows people how it can increase their quality of life, then I think we're doing the right thing in messaging nuclear's benefit.
Traders at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle have expressed concern over a large pile of refuse close to drainage channels leading to a blockage. The traders say the blockage causes water to overflow, resulting in flooding in the major streets of Accra. They are worried about the consequences of indiscriminate dumping of waste and the urgent need for stricter enforcement of waste management regulations. Prince Owusu has been speaking to them.
In a season where a small downpour can lead to flooding in major streets of Accra as a result of indiscriminate dumping of waste, we are here at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where a large pile of refuse has been accumulated for weeks. Market traders and pedestrians have been raising concerns about the health implications and safety issues.
And I think since we are entering into the rainy season, each and everybody should try and then start cleaning his or her gutter, in front of your gutter, wherever you know that the place can choke when it's rain. I think everybody has to start cleaning and it will help.
The rubbish used to choke the gutters, so the government should try to employ some of the youth to also do that, so that when we see that rubbish, we can also carry it away, so that if the water comes, it can able to pass through easily, because nowadays it's now rampant, it's uncontrollable. Yesterday, like the rain like about 5 to 10 minutes, the water was flowing all over.
This is because due to we the citizens, we are part of it, because person go carry imbora from house, then can't throw for gutter inside. I mean that one no good. We all expect say the government go do something about it, but the government no go fit come out from in house where go come use in hand come out it for us. Have you understand? So we the citizens who if we know say as the government won't help the citizens, we the citizens too need to help the government by doing the right thing, by giving the border to the dustbin people to come take away to the waste center.
These are the concerns of people working here and also who uses this stretch. They are charging the government to make sure that places are clean, and also some say that we the citizens should also take that mandate to make sure that we don't dispose of any waste indiscriminately. Prince also answer Kwame Nkrumah Circle for JoyNews.
In our Ghana Man series, it is a pond that is considered as a sacred, and it is a place where the overlord of a Wala traditional area cannot set foot. It is simply called Lum, but has a complex way of signaling and alerting the people of the death of the Wala overlord or senior royals of the Wala traditional area. How does it do that? A big and bright star usually appears in the night, and it heads towards the pond and later brings sounds of drums from the pond. And that's a sign that there's going to be death from the royal home.
Though it is located outside the one municipality, the Salamana Pond is one of the sacred and revered places for royals of the Wala traditional area. The team decided to take a 40-kilometer trip to Salamana, located in the Wawas district, to learn more about this mysterious pond known by the locals here as Lum, as alluded to by the divisional chief of Duse, Nasalafu Jongara Mahama.
When our great-grandfather rode his horse up to this place, he saw it very neutral and very fine. So he decided going forward, that is another place known as Salmane. It's a pond. He got there, his horse drank. After drinking, something prick him that to come back to his people.
As custom demands, we can't just go straight to the Loom Pond with a meeting with the chief, elders and opinion leaders of the Salamana community. After disclosing to them our mission in the community, we were each asked about our ethnic background. We have no qualms about the question because it was deliberate, aimed at freeing us from incurring the wrath of the Loom Pond. The first rule here is that the Loom Pond does not allow visit for members of the Walla royal family. Fortunately, all of us were from different sects of Wa and other parts of the region that has no direct ties with the Walla royal family. We were warned, if we lie about our background, we do so at our own peril. We then set off for the Loom Pond, led by the chief of Salamana, Nabanguna Brahma. On arrival at the Loom Pond, he again reiterated that it is a taboo for Walla royals to visit the pond. Even if that royal misses a way around here, he or she has to ask the location of Loom in order not to get himself in trouble, the chief said. Another thing worthy of note is the appearance and movement of stars in the community to the Loom Pond, signaling the person of the Walla overlord or a senior member of the Walla royal family. On many occasions, we saw a big star appeared, move and fell closer to the Loom Pond, and suddenly we hear sounds of the Dogomba drums. When that happens, we know that it is either the Wana or senior member of the royal family that is about to die, he explained. Yarva admitted that he has never seen the drum beaters because it is always in the night. One thing unique about this pond, according to leaders of the community, is that some of the fish that are caught comes in with tribal marks akin to Walla royals. They have tribal marks like the one on the cheeks and arms of Walla royals. I've seen them severally, he revealed. The Loom Pond is equated to the level of the Gura shrine in Wa and considered a sacred place for the Walla royals, and hence no royal dare swears it.
So Salamana is equivalent dangerous like here. When you see a fish, the mad fish coming out of the water, normally it has marks, 3 here, 3 here, telling you that a royal, an elderly royal is going to die. You hear talking drums either early in the morning or in the evening when the sun is setting. So if you hear that sound, indicates that a big royal or an elder is going to die.
From Salamana?
From Salamana, up to date, it still happens. And that is why no royal will ever swear Salamana. Because if you swear it, mind you, you vow not to tell lies again. You vow not to tell lies. So it's more equally important to us, the royals, like Gora, because we all respected the man and we all abide by his rules. We all follow him as one. So it is his legacy we are all enjoying.
Another thing unique about the Loom Pond is the well-cultured vegetative cover around it. We were told that it is a taboo to cut a tree from the area. Old, weak and dead trees are also not allowed to be picked and used as firewood. At the moment, the pond is silted and as a result is not able to hold much water during the dry season. Community members are urging the government and other benevolent organizations to desilt and expand it for them. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Salamana.
Okay, in Lakar and in the studio, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you business.
Hello, good afternoon. This is the business segment on JoyNews today with me, Pius Kojo-Baka. Now, the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Enchibuisiakon, has indicated that government's decision to regulate the cybersecurity space is aimed at the development of the authority and also create the enabling environment for cybersecurity professionals to operate. According to him, licensing professionals in the space will also ensure that their practice are upheld. There is more in this report.
ISO Summit brought together professionals in the cyber security space to deliberate on building a strategy for cyber resilience. The summit was held under the theme Cyber Security Modernization with a Threat-Informed Defense. Delivering his keynote address, Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Enchibuisiakon, said licensing professionals in the cybersecurity space will help develop more incentive from the ecosystem.
It is important to highlight the rationale and the benefit of the accreditation of cybersecurity professionals, because that is one of the most important things, and I believe this is what this fraternity belongs to. That's one of the main focus of regulations of the authority. Like any serious profession, ladies and gentlemen, there is a need for regulations. While the industry bodies like ISACA, ISC Square continue to place, if I haven't mentioned it, you are not excluded, continue to play a significant role in promoting cybersecurity skills development and standardization. There is a need at the national level to regulate individuals, irrespective of which industry body they belong to. The accreditation of cybersecurity professional will guide further development of the cybersecurity profession in Ghana and will make it possible to create the necessary incentive to develop the profession.
Executive Director of Innovari, Ebo Richardson, added that government decision to license professionals in the cybersecurity space will help build an effective system against cyber attacks.
Government's drive to try and make sure that we have a structure helps us create that effective policing, if you like, or effective guidance security systems within a cyberspace environment, which will inure to the benefit of our collective society, because if we're going to become more technology and digital dependent, we need to make sure that that environment is also positive and that there's safety and security in that environment.
Cybersecurity professionals found operating without a license by 30th September would be charged with penalties.
Now, Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi Mine has handed over water systems to 4 communities in the Obuasi municipality to mark World Water Day. Now, the water systems, costing 2.5 million cedis, will resolve sanitation and hygiene issues exacerbated by a limited access to water in the communities. There is more for you in this report.
This year's Water Day celebration focuses on accelerating change to solve water and sanitation crisis. The commissioning of the water system by Anglo Gold will help eliminate water crisis in the selected communities. Iman Obeidu is Senior Manager Sustainability at Anglo Gold.
We believe that we can never talk of development without talking about water. So as a mine, we are very mindful how we manage water even in our own operations. It is very well known in Obuasi that there has been a lot of interventions by Anglo Gold Ashanti, Obuasi Mine, to provide access to potable water to the people of Obuasi, and this we continue to do.
Some residents bemoaned challenges in accessing potable water. They're excited about the water system handed over to the communities. Getting access to water was difficult until AGA constructed this one. Sometimes we spend like 2 hours just to fetch water. The World Water Day 2023 campaign encourages people to take action in their own lives to change the way they use, consume and manage water. Nana Kwabena Pongpo II, Chief of Kunka, encouraged the 4 communities to cultivate good maintenance culture to enhance the lifespan of the project.
na monhwɛ ne yie sɛ yɛ da bia ɛdi mpanyinfoɔ bɛ ho a ɔmbɛka sɛ o adeɛ ɛbɛyɛ wɔ ha deɛ yɛantwe sika awu yɛanyɛ no kwa ɛboa ɔmanfoɔ.
Anita Sewa Ajogan reporting.
And that's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Darrell Kwa will be here at 1 p.m. with the marketplace. Great for serving you.
Sports segment on Midday. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, for the first time in 2023, the Black Stars will be back on the turf as they face Angola in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Now, Ghana and Angola are separated by goal difference on Group E, making the contest neatly poised. Now, when asked about the tactics Coach Hilton will deploy on the pitch, he was coy, but he says he's going to find the right balance in order to beat Angola.
This is team tactics. You know, whenever you play against whatever team, you have to analyse. You have to analyse the strengths of the team. And some of what you say are obvious things. If you are conceding goals, it makes it more difficult to win football matches. So our responsibility is to get the right balance. You know, everybody wants to see goals. So there will be a percentage of the supporters that want to see more goals. There'll be a percentage of the supporters that want to make sure that we don't leave too many goals in. So for me, it's about getting that balance. To have a team that's a good structured team, that defensively is good, but to win football matches you need to score goals. So this is something I'm very conscious of. My experience of Angola is if I look at my involvement in the team, the squad, the association, of course, it was before I was made head coach. So I was aware, of course, as soon as the campaign started and the draw was made, that we would play Angola. So yes, as each coach would do, I've studied them in their last 5, 6, 7 games. Technically, a very good team, and obviously a very sort of Portuguese influence. A lot of good technical players, so I am in no doubt that it's strong and tough opposition. So we have to plan for that, as we would do for any opposition. But certainly they have the capabilities, if we are not to play as well as what I would like to, that they can cause us a lot of problems, and we will have to play well.
Chris Hilton and the Black Stars will be hoping supporters will fill the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But the fans themselves, they've been talking about that particular crucial encounter. Here's a report sent to us by my colleague, Clinton Yabua.
Ghana is at the qualifiers of the African Cup of Nations. We are facing off with Angola at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Well, with a new coach, with a new seemingly fresh face, how is it going to resonate with the performance of the team on Thursday? Well, we engaged some people on the street to find out the anticipation for the game ahead on Thursday.
It's going to be a little bit fun. It's going to be exciting because these players are going to come out with their best just to impress us, because you know they have all been they have been on our red list for some time now. They have taken some bashes from the Ghanaian citizens, and I expect that they will put up their best. So in Kumasi, with the support of the Kumasi and Ashanti people, I'm expecting that yes, they should do their best to earn some respect from us, or else, trust me, this Black Stars team we see might lose the respect they have from the Ghanaian point of view. These players are huge. They are notorious in their own way. They have their own way of doing stuff, and it takes a little bit of time, respect for them to bow to you as a coach. So I think it will take some time. So I don't think the coach will be having that power, you know, that impact of influencing the team as of now.
Ghana can win the game based on one or two things. The first one being that we have a new coach, and when there is a new coach, you see there is a resurgence in every team. When there is a new coach, there is a new vibe. And also Ghana is playing at home. The very last time Ghana played and lost at Baba Yara Sports Stadium was in the year 2000, when we lost by a goal to South Africa in AFCON 2000. So Baba Yara has been been a fortress for Ghana all this while. So it makes it very difficult for Angola to have a say in this game. On that, I think that Ghana will manage a slim win. So Ghanaians shouldn't expect a very huge win from the Black Stars because we've not been performing that much recently. We went to the AFCON the very last time and we were last in the group with just a point. That was the very first time in our history that we couldn't manage a single win at an AFCON. So our team is under reconstruction. So I think that the coach who is coming in now will be bringing that.
The match comes off at 4 p.m. and there'll be live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Haruna Mubarak, and that's your sport.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on JoyNews today. Now, musician Kelvin Boy says he prefers listening to music than recording. So the singer-songwriter told KMJ on Prime Morning that although he is popular for making music, he loves listening to music.
Listen to music than to record.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, I'm like that.
Why is that?
I'm very musical. I was born into a musical home. My dad, I adapted singing. I didn't learn. I adapted singing from my dad because I just found myself singing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how. You get me? So yeah. The way I treat music is I cherish it. It's not like competition and it's not like, hey, no.
Yeah.
No.
What's some of the people that you listen to if you're not listening to your songs?
I listen to everybody.
Really?
Everybody. I listen to reggae music, dancehall music. I listen to Kojanchi, Lumba. I listen to Lavish Rock. I listen to R&B a lot. Caesar, Doja Cat, everyone. I listen to Bruno Mars. I listen to Black Sherif. I listen to Kwame Eugene. I listen to Stonebwoy as well. I listen to Shatta Wale. And I listen to myself a lot too.
Let's still stay on music and talk about rapper Medical because he has revealed the reason he featured his ex on his new record. According to him, Sister Debbie fits the song perfectly, and so he reached out to her for collaboration.
I mean, I think it's because we recorded a song.
Medical actor James Gardner has revealed a slow growth in the Ghana's movie industry due to lack of support from Ghanaians. According to the actor, Ghanaians do not support their own, hence the low patronage of local creative content.
I want to be very clear because I'm not pointing fingers, but I feel like Ghanaians always have this habit of wanting to jump on the bad stories instead of jumping on the good trains. So it makes us always see the bad things outside. Meanwhile, when you go to other African countries, our neighboring African countries, they will do everything possible to defend it, even though it may not go well, even though they are not the best of things, to defend. They will make sure that their country's name is on top.
That's more Showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins, and that'll be all for Showbiz here on JoyNews today. My name is Becky. Over to you, Aisha.
And thanks for bringing us Showbiz. That'll be it for the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and update of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.